Senator McPhedran.
Thank you very much, Your Honour, and thank you to the Conservatives for this time to be able to ask a question. Minister, less than a month ago, the UN elected experts who monitor progress of states parties to the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, responded to Canada's review, noting deep concern that despite amendments to the Indian Act, gender-based discrimination against Indigenous women and girls persists. In particular, number one, the provisions of the Indian Act setting forth that after 2 generations of out-parenting, Indian status cannot be transmitted to a child, second-generation cutoff, as well as those requiring that there be 2 Indian parents to transmit status to a child, 2-parent rule. 2, ongoing lack of action to reinstate membership, natal and other, to women and their descendants who are automatically removed from their Indian band membership. Minister, what are you going to do about this now? It's not good enough to talk about what you hope for the future. You have the authority. What are you going to do now?
Thank you, Senator. Monsieur le Ministre.
Minister.
First off, this is a matter that is in Minister Haidu's portfolio, but notwithstanding that, let me attempt to answer this question. Bill C-38 is before the House of Commons right now, as you're aware, that addresses some of the issues around the second-generation cutoff. We attempted to deal with this by way of Bill S-6, I believe, a number of years ago, and S3, I apologize. And it didn't quite do the trick, and I recognized that shortly after its passage. We're at a point where there is serious consultations that are taking place on what we need to do beyond C-38, and those consultations are being undertaken by Minister Haidu. And I believe that should lead towards additional measures that the federal government will take towards citizenship. But ultimately, it is still within this colonial model, and that is the troubling part for me. I do think at some point for the work that I do is about ensuring that we have self-determination over issues such as citizenship, which is where I believe we need to get to.
Senator McPhedran.
Thank you very much, Your Honour. Will this government, appreciating that there's more than one portfolio that's relevant, commit to repealing all domestic legal provisions restricting access to comprehensive reparations for the violation of human rights of First Nations women and their descendants, including those stemming from the Indian Act, and develop a mechanism to address reparation claims in coordination with the First Nations women and their descendants?
Monsieur le Ministre.
I believe the
Minister
are currently being undertaken by Minister Haidu with respect to C-38 should lead towards changes that will hopefully eliminate the discrimination. With respect to reparations, I believe there are a number of cases that are before the courts, so I won't comment on that, but I do think that with respect to changes that are required, that will be the subject of the work that Minister Haidu does.